Joining me right now is House Appropriations Committee member, Tennessee Congressman Chuck Flesichmann. Congressman, can you tell us what's on the table in terms of potential legislation for the border?
Well, first of all, the first issue ought to be, Maria, securing the border. It is porous, it is bad, it's a disaster. It's drugs, it's criminal activity, it's national security, terror watch list, all of the above. I applaud Senator Tillis and Senator Sinema for attempting to do something, but the larger picture, the abysmal failure of the Biden border policy or lack of a border policy is out there. It's hurting this country. Every American ought to address it.
Yeah, but you just heard Karine Jean-Pierre. She said that Republicans are doing political stunts and they need to work with the White House about its plan that it's put forth. What is that plan?
They don't have a plan. The plan is a porous border. Every time we've had legislation, technology, resources, they've looked the other way. The Title 42 policy, which was working, they want that to go away. Buffer in Mexico, they want that to go away. Let's face it, if you want a secure border, we had that under President Trump. We had that under the last administration. It was bipartisan cooperation. Right now, there's chaos at a porous southern border that is hurting this country, not only now, but long term.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how she gets away with saying, why are they doing political stunts instead of working with us on the plan we put forth if there's actually no plan? You know, she just says things to misinform. Is that what that was about? I mean, if there's no plan, why is she saying there's a plan?
Well, I think there's a tremendous lack of accountability on the part of this administration, and she is the mouthpiece for a failed administration. Candidly, we see a situation where time after time, whether it's the border, whether it's the economy, whether it's foreign policy, I feel for her. She has to come out and articulate a message that's not a message, or if it is one, it's of abysmal failure. So certainly she's got to say something. The reality is there's no political games being played. It's chaos in this country. We need to address the border. We need to address the economy. We need to sit down as Americans and get fiscal policy in order. This president is not going to do it, and sadly, he's not going to do it in the second term. Biden is doubling down on zero on failed policies. He has said this. It's very sad. So we're going to have a rough 2 years.
Well, I want to ask you about the energy policy or lack of from this White House and what the Republicans are going to do about it. I know that James Comer is also going to be investigating this climate change agenda and this pressure that this White House puts on investment managers to go, quote unquote, ESG. But the White House was also asked about refilling the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. We know that we're at the lowest levels in that reserve. It's supposed to be an emergency stockpile. We're at the lowest level since 1984. Here's what they said on that front. Watch.
The administration said they're going to refill the Strategic Petroleum Reserve under $70 a barrel. The Russian price cap went into effect today, $60 a barrel. Is the president considering putting Russian oil in the Strategic Petroleum Reserve?
No, because it's been banned. The goal of the price cap has always been to ensure that discounted Russian oil continues to flow onto global markets.
So that sounds like a yes. California Governor Gavin Newsom is urging state lawmakers to impose fines on oil company profits to penalize those oil companies for the price of oil, Congressman. Again, a misunderstanding or a lack of understanding of how markets work. The oil companies are not setting the price of oil, but they continue in Washington and Gavin Newsom in California to spew this idea that that's the case, Congressman. Your thoughts?
Well, I think clearly Democrats, including Governor Newsom, have an aversion to free markets, have an aversion to free market capitalism and all the greatness that is there. They don't understand markets until markets tank them. And that's what's happened in this country. It's happened in California. It's happened around this country. What we've got to do is realize the American people know we have abundant oil, we have abundant natural gas. We are astutely and acutely aware these are commodities. We have a lot of them. You produce more. What happens? The price drops. So it's national security. It's economic security. We've got to get back to reaping the benefits of our great natural resources. It's far too long. So this is where Republicans and independents need to stand up to Democrats and say enough is enough.
Well, this is not much of a policy to just sell oil from the reserve, but I want to get your take on what's in the NDAA. The National Defense Authorization Act. The Pentagon's John Kirby says both the Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin and President Biden are pushing back on lifting the COVID vaccine mandate for military members. Kevin McCarthy on Sunday told me that they were going to definitely lift it, or the NDAA was not moving forward. Can you give us a sense of what's in that bill, the NDAA?
Well, it's a large bill, and this is probably one of the most important bills for the American people in Congress, because the National Defense Authorization Act is that annual bill that funds the military, that dictates military policy and gets that out. For far too long, our outstanding men and women who have not wanted to take the vaccine, which I think is their right, have been punished. Our great state in Tennessee, our governor has said our National Guard troops will not be punished. They don't have to take it. So basically, we've got to make absolutely certain that we protect the records of these great Americans who serve us every day, and that we repeal this policy. We've got to get rid of it. We can get rid of it in the NDAA. We need to pass the NDAA. It's important for this country. It's important to make sure that our military has the resources that they need in a very dangerous world.
All right, Congressman, we'll be watching that. Thanks very much. Chuck Flesichmann in Tennessee joining us this morning.